Hi guys, it's Sophie. So I'm just coming at you with a life update and a channel update. And I actually filmed this video this morning, but I ended up getting into such a negative place with what I was talking about that I wanted to refilm it. Because I think whilst there's some negatives here, it's really not as bad as I thought it was at 6 o'clock this morning. So we'll start with just a little bit of background on the life stuff, because I think that informs the channel stuff, but the channel stuff is the majority of what I want to talk about. So, my life at the minute is much busier than it has been historically since I've been doing BookTube. So I've been doing BookTube for about three and a half years. It's kind of mad. And back in January of 2018 I got a new job, which is great. I absolutely love my new job. Yeah, just all the elements of the work itself I absolutely love. But it is a fair distance from where I live. So I work essentially, I'm at work for about 40 hours a week, and then I have another 10 hours of driving. So work's kind of about a 50-hour week realistically, like door to door. And the other thing that changed recently, like fairly recently to the beginning of this year, is that in February I met Tom. And again, everything's really good there. The content of the things I'm doing are really positive and I'm really happy with them. But as some of you guys know from previous videos, Tom's agoraphobic, which means that he finds it very difficult to leave his house, which is his kind of safe place, to go to other places. He also has a physical health condition called POTS that can make it difficult to go sort of travel anywhere anyway, even if he could travel. So there's kind of this double-barreled thing that makes it quite hard for him to be anywhere but home at the moment. It's getting a lot better. He's made such great improvements, like just in the time I've known him. But where we are at the moment, those kind of situations in life mean that most of the time if I want to see him I need to drive to see him, and he actually lives another hour away from me but in the opposite direction to my work. So I go to see him twice a week to go stay, and that is another like 4 hours of driving on top of the other hours of driving I'm doing, so kind of like a 54-hour week with driving. And because of the fact that he can't really leave home too often now, I'm nearly always at his. So what that kind of looks like in my week is that I'm doing a fairly long working week, hours wise, out of home wise, and then I'm driving to his on a Friday night and staying the weekend. So in terms of kind of finding and creating and having a little bit of my time, that can be really challenging. And Tom and I are kind of discussing how we do that and how we make sure that I still have some time for myself in all of this, just because the way my life is at the minute, it's really busy and it's really hard for me to pull these little, you know, evenings or half a weekend day back at the moment. And that reflects directly on the channel. BookTube is something that I absolutely want to keep doing, and I'm not about to come here to tell you I'm leaving. That isn't my intention at all. I've been really saddened to see everybody seeming to be leaving at the moment. We've had so many people, so many brilliant people on BookTube who've, for one reason or another, decided to end their channels, and I just want to be really clear that that isn't what I'm doing. It's something I'm fighting really hard in my own personal life to maintain. I'm making choices about seeing Tom or doing this, and because of BookTube, like I'm having times where I don't see my boyfriend because I want to do this. So I want you to understand like how high up on my list of to-dos BookTube is. However, my time is really stripped for BookTube, whereas I used to have in my old job an afternoon off a week to sit and film and chat, and I used to basically use that as BookTube time. And then I had 2 days at the weekend. Now the only time I have at home is Sunday evenings and sort of evenings after about 6:37 at home. So it does make it a little bit more difficult. I'm often, the videos I've been filming, especially more recently, I'm grabbing time in the early hours of the morning. I'm sort of getting up at 6 and filming then, or I'm getting my makeup back on again and I'm filming after I've had a shower in the evening, sort of like 8 or 9. And that can be quite difficult. And again, it's not me saying I don't want to do it anymore. It's just explaining a little bit about where I am. I'm also approaching a really big milestone soon, which is so exciting. I'm not that far away from 10k anymore. But I think one of the side effects of that is that people expect the production quality to jump significantly as compared to before. I've had quite a few comments lately about my sound quality, and I don't think any of these are negative or mean or trying to nitpick about videos that I'm making. But I just have to be honest, and I just want to say it here, like I kind of say it, I don't really want to like have a go at people in my comments. I'd rather just make a video and talk about it and it be there. To set up for videos properly at the moment with the time I have and how I'm having to do this would almost make it not worth doing for me. It would almost make it unenjoyable to the point where I would wonder if I wanted to do this. And the reason for that is that if I do proper setups, I need a different lens, which means I need someone else to focus my camera in. I need to have my mic, which has to be attached to my computer and then to my camera. Any of these things can go wrong, so I can film a video and can be completely out of focus. I can plug in my mic, which has to be with a laptop as well, and everything can not record. And normally if I'm setting all that up, I'll do lights as well. I'll have to do lights soon just because of the times I'm filming and the sun. But all of those things to kind of set up, to have someone else help me to do all of those things, makes it such a big effort to film a video. Sitting down now, I can just chat to you guys and talk and get videos out there, and it still does take me a good while. Like, I would say each video, filming, editing, uploading, writing stuff for is probably like a 4-hour process. And I just don't want to be putting loads and loads and loads more effort in at the minute. I feel like there's kind of two choices, and one is that I stop filming so much and I just go down to one video a week, but I carve out the time like in my diary to do that with lighting and microphone and all of those and try and make that one video more professional. But that negative of that, because that kind of appeals to me in some ways, the negative of that is that I'd have to give up projects externally. So if I still want to do hauls, wrap-ups, to-be reads, that's 3 videos, so that is all bar one of my videos in a month taken up every month. I like doing those things, I want to keep doing those things. So that means stuff like the Mum Booker series I'm doing right now, I can't do anymore, which would suck for me. I like doing these things, or I do more light lo-fi and I do my standards plus my series, which is what I would prefer to do. And I know this is my channel and I can just do whatever I want, but I also kind of want to ask you guys, would you rather have less and better quality, or would you rather continue as we are with the same quality we're on? They're kind of the two choices. And there's just one more thing I want to talk about in terms of channel that sort of links to this and sort of doesn't, and that's around Round the World. So I have recently hit the 50 book mark for Around the World, which is awesome. I've read 50 countries this year, which is more than I've ever read in the whole of my life before. But it's time to be a bit honest about Around the World, in that I haven't found it enjoyable to do as a project. I've liked a lot of the books I've read, there's been certain standouts, and I've liked being able to share it with you guys, but as a project it sucked. And I think there's a couple reasons for that. I think that it's felt very much like a pressure. You guys know I like having small TBRs, and to facilitate Around the World monetarily I had to buy a lot of books in one go, to spread the buying out over a 2-year process. So I have a large TBR that stresses the fuck out of me all the time, and I look at and it worries me rather than making me excited. The other kind of element to that is that because I've had these books for so long, a lot of the excitement's waned, so now I've got this huge pile of books I don't care about anymore. And the kind of last thing, the third thing I suppose, is a lot of the countries around the world, and I think I got this when I started but didn't get it as a reader, there may only be 1 or 2 books that I can find. There may be books that I'm more interested in or less interested in, and lots of choice, but a lot of the books that come out from countries that aren't normally published from will be about very negative subjects, and I get that because quite often they're the worst thing that have happened that people in the West want to know about, or English language readers want to know about. And I didn't quite anticipate that reading so many books in that vein back to back would depress the hell out of me, and it has. It's just depressed the hell out of me. Where I'm sitting today, I have no desire to continue the project with the same aims in mind as I had originally. I'm very proud of where I've gotten to, but I also don't want to get rid of all these books because I was excited for them. I did want to read them, and it seems like such a shame to like have all these books from all these countries and just throw them away, but you know what I mean, like give them to charity or whatever. So I think I can say that I'm stopping Around the World as a project. That doesn't actually mean all that much for you guys, weirdly, because I still want to cross off countries as I go, and I think I'll have it as a longer project, that when I've read 5 books from different countries, I will do a video on them. But I don't want to have it as a focus anymore. It hasn't worked for me. It's made this reading year a bit shit, and it added to the pressure around all of this time, all of these things to do. And I'm just not where I was when I planned that project. That was July of 2017, and a lot in my life and the way I am now is completely different to where I was then. When I think back to where I was when I was planning the project, I was someone who's single, had a 15-minute commute to work, and had little other commitments, and actually in that scenario around the world might have been something that was more enjoyable. Where I am now, it's not enjoyable anymore. So there probably still will be around the world videos. That's the funny thing about me doing this, and I'm not going to make one specifically for around the world. I just want to let you guys know, because as I'm reading them they're going to be updated, but I'm not going to be like pushing myself to read them necessarily. I'm just going to have these books in my library on a shelf, and when I fancy it I can go and pick one up. Or if I think, I fancy a book that is like a thriller or a mystery, I can go, I wonder if there's one on that shelf already. So that's kind of how I'm dealing with it. It's disappointing for me. I've thought about this for a really long time. I think I knew from about March that it wasn't working, and I've tried to make it work for quite a long time. And it's just time for me to be kinder to myself. I'm under quite a lot of pressure time-wise at the moment anyway, and I don't want to be spending that time reading stuff I'm not loving. So I hope you understand. I hope all of this has kind of made sense. Yeah, I think the key thing to take from everything I have rambled at you so far is, do you want to have one video a week which will just be the basics, but good quality sound, lighting, or would you rather have more videos of a lower quality? That is your choice. I open it to you guys. My preference would probably be for more videos, but I'm not opposed to the other idea. So I'll take into consideration what I think and also what you guys think. If I can figure out how to make some kind of poll, I'll do that. But yeah, I hope you're all well, and thank you for listening to my little ramble. I love you all very much, and I'm really glad that I care and want to keep this going. It matters to me a lot. I don't want to lose this. I hope you understand. Alright, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.